I'll tell you what, I can't wait till I get all this stuff done so I can clean my office up. It's not supposed to look like a workshop in here, but anyways, big test. Finally got the wire connectors that I wanted to use. I know they're pure copper, they're heat shrink. I'm not going to use anything except for proper wire and proper wire connections for this. And so we're actually ready to test how the system is supposed to work. Like the mad science either is going to be a failed theory or it's going to work, and we're about to prove it. So the EcoFlow power stations, one's right there, runs the entire computer setup, including all the amps and stuff that sit over there. Another one over here runs the entire server rack. It is late in the day, and looking at my computer, which is where I have my weakest solar panels. Normally there's two sets of panels plugged in. Right here, right there. I just unplugged one of them. So you can see I'm only getting 48 watts of power from solar. What should theoretically happen is once I kick on this battery, if there's no magic smoke that comes out of that, we should see a second solar input kick on. There it is. So 48 watts, 500 watts. Just so you know, the Delta 3 Plus units have two 500 watt solar inputs. So if I feel like either running a parallel connection with one wire, I can get 1,000 watts, or I can run just one connection for 500 watts, or I can run one connection to solar and one to the battery. Like, I got some options, but in reality, all the solar will get unplugged from these, and it's going to get plugged into those. So that's the next thing for me to do. Now that I've unplugged one of the solar feeds, I might as well plug it back into the charge controller and start sending that power to the battery. I won't have time tonight, though. We're going out for trivia. But I'm getting the full 500 watts. And so what happens now is that's actually connected to these breakers. So that's one feed of three. The next feed will go to the server rack. The third feed goes to the home theater setup. Those are my power hungry things. If I offset this much, I can probably cut my electric bill by nearly half with a pretty low cost solution, and everything here can go with me when I move. Yes, I'll have to take this stuff off the wall, but there's no electric panels that have been installed by an electrician. There's no net metering contract. The demand, like my computer's on right now, it uses 500 to 800 watts depending on what I'm doing. The 500 watts of solar will almost completely run the computer, but it also has battery capacity. So what's going to happen is all of my downtime will charge the battery up. It has a 1,000 kilowatt or 1,000 watt hour battery internal to it. It'll just slowly drain the battery when I don't have enough solar input. And then if solar and battery both go dead, it still plugs into the wall and it will pull power from the wall. So that's how I get this hybrid solar setup, where I save as much money as possible by using as much solar as possible, but not being in an all or nothing scenario, like say plugging everything into an inverter, where if I run out of battery capacity, then my stuff turns off. You can get bigger, better inverters that do grid pass-through, but then you might be in a situation where you guys start getting permits and all that kind of stuff because you're literally touching the electric grid. This is technically not touching the electric grid. This is what we call DC coupled. You can go to Costco, you can go on eBay, you can buy these things. You can plug your stuff into them, you can plug solar panels into them, and you're ready to go without any special stuff. I'm just taking advantage of the system and adding to it. This is pretty much what I've done here. So yeah, time to build the next feed and get that on the feed. And then temporarily, I guess I will wire these in parallel internally into the charge controllers using all the wire feeds. But once I get the solar panels on the roof, I'm going to have more feeds that's when I'm going to have to go outside and actually install some new equipment outside the solar combiner box. So, yay. That's it for now. I'll see everyone on my next update.